Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, USC has a commitment that they just got, big time linebacker, and it appears that his stock is skyrocketing right now. We're going to talk about that, but I also want to kind of touch on a couple of news and note items. There was a big time offer that USC made for a 2027 quarterback. We're going to get into him as well. Then I want to kind of get into some of this top 25. I want to know if you guys agree. I got respect for a guy like Josh Pate. You guys know he's well known, 24/7. I think it was 24/7 Sports. But he put a top 25 out that's kind of suspect. I made a big comment on it based on how it was arranged and how it was situated. Totally didn't agree with it based on some of the results last year. And we could talk about this. You guys can tell me. I just want to know you guys' thoughts. How do you guys feel about this top 25? I'm not feeling it, but I want to get into something real quick that I kind of talked about a while back. Well, just the other day, and that was the big time 2025 commit that USC just got. You guys know Taylor Johnson. I talked about him being an explosive linebacker, and a lot of people, they were just kind of saying that with Jay, he's not ranked. He's a 3-star. Well, based on his play alone, he looked like a 3-star, 4-star prospect, in my opinion. I mean, and it's not. I'm not trying to dress it up because he's a USC commit, but the way this guy moves through the ball, how explosive he is, how his closing speed, his instinct, his knowledge of the game. This guy looks like he's the real deal. And that was what I was basing it on. That's what I always base everything on. I don't try to put my own bias on it, my own spin on it based on being biased. I just don't do that. But I look at the film, I see what he has, and the kid looks like he's absolutely an incredible player. And I said that I argue that he could be one of the best linebackers in the country. Now, it's ironic that he went from – now, I told you guys the other day that Rivals had him ranked as a 3-star prospect already. That was Rivals. Salute to Rivals for even having him ranked as a 3-star prospect. However, 24/7 Sports, ESPN on 3 did not have him ranked. But lo and behold, look what happened just yesterday. After he got a major commitment, after he made a major commitment to USC, all of a sudden he's now ranked a 3-star, consensus 3-star all across the board. Now, I find that to be very, very suspect. I find it to be ironic because we already knew that this kid was absolutely a player that was ranked a 3-star and that he was moving and grooving based on. And here's what I want to ask the fans. All I ask you guys to do is just look at the film. Don't look at the star rankings. Don't look at some of these systems have it wrong. And you know what that tells me? It tells me that they really didn't do their due diligence in certain geographical areas, locations that whether it's like Fremont, the big time 3-star prospect that we offered, got his commitment. Fremont High School, the edge guy, his name is not coming to me off the top, but he made a commitment. He's severely underrated. Certain areas, they just don't go. Some guys didn't get into camps. Some guys didn't have access to buy the stars like some other people do. And as a result, they fall through the cracks. But look at here. On 3 now has him ranked as the number 105 linebacker in the country, which is still severely low. But they got him ranked the number 3-star prospect. In the state, they got him ranked the number 185 player overall. That's according to On 3 now. 24/7 Sports, they have him ranked now. A 3-star prospect all of a sudden after he made that commitment. So you go from non-ranked to a 3-star prospect. They have him ranked number 111 as a linebacker and number 120 in the state of California. Number 120 player in the state of California. ESPN, they have him ranked as a 3-star. They have him ranked as the number 23 linebacker in the country. And then they have him ranked number 76 player in the state of California. And then Rivals, you see here, the 3-star prospect. I don't have the in-state, but you see it here. You guys see it for yourself. So you guys, it's important for us all just to do our own due diligence. And then we always talk about the offer list. This kid absolutely has offers from already. I think some people mentioned that he didn't have any offers, but he actually had offers already from Washington State, Oregon State. I don't have the offer list pulled up. Yeah, he had offer lists, Washington State, Oregon State, I think Arizona. I don't have them all pulled up, but oh, here it is right here. West Virginia is right here. West Virginia, Washington State, Arizona, San Jose State, UNLV, Oregon State, and Cal, Fresno State. Those are all his offer lists prior to him making that commitment at USC, which tells me that he's already automatically basically a 3-star prospect when you have those type of offers already. So look, you guys can hit me in the comments, man. You guys can tell me what you think about that. We'll talk about that some more, but he is a linebacker that I think is going to continue to. He's a borderline 4-star, and I think when you're talking about 150 something tackles in the country, I mean last year, which is absolutely crazy. That's total solo 88. That's insane. I think his number is going to continue to go up. Now, real quick, let's get into some of this real quick. This is a big quarterback. He's a 2025 prospect, and look, I think USC. The way Lincoln Riley recruits, he's continued to move and groove on all fronts. But this kid's name right here, his name is Peyton Houston, and he's out of Shreveport, Louisiana, Evangel High School, and he's a 2027 prospect. He just posted this yesterday on his Twitter, and he just said, thank you. You know, where is it at here? Let me pull it up. I know that's a little small for you guys to see. He says, Psalms 37, he put up a scripture, Psalms 37:4. Delight thyself in him, the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. And he says, thank you, Lincoln Riley, Luke Heward, and at USC football for extending me the offer. So this is a 2027 offer. And look, it keeps going. We got Jonas Williams moving and grooving now. Of course, you guys know Hassan Longstreet this year. You know, the quarterback situation is going to be fluid. It's going to continue to move and groove. That's what Lincoln Riley does. He's a big-time quarterback. Evangel High School 2027 prospect, and he looks incredible. I might end up doing a video on him. But look, man, this is what USC is doing. This is how Lincoln Riley continues to move and groove on the quarterback front. And so, look, I think it's really go time as it relates to that. So you guys can drop the comments, man. You guys can tell me what you think. One more news item that I kind of want to address here, and that is this, man. Let's get it to Josh Pate. And it's, you know, like I said, Josh Pate, highly respected guy. He put out a top 20, and I'm just going to go through it kind of quick. I kind of, you know, it's so many different things I think about when I look at this list. But look, Clemson 1, Texas 2, Penn State 3, Alabama 4, LSU 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Ohio State 8, Florida number 9, Oklahoma 10, Georgia 11, Miami 12, Arizona State 13, 14 is Texas A&M, 15 is Illinois, 18 is Ole Miss, 17 is, I'm sorry, I'm reading this list all wrong. No, 16 is Ole Miss, 17 is Georgia Tech, South Carolina is 18, 19 is Michigan, 20 is Texas Tech. Now, I got to get into this list real quick, and here's what I want to talk about. I really don't think, I think you just kind of did a soft top 20 based on I don't even know, because when I look at a couple of these teams, specifically teams like Oklahoma, yes, they added a decent quarterback, I think John Mateer, and they added Jaden Ott as a running back. But you know, the way they finished, you know, to me, the way they finished, especially losing against Navy, I just did not feel like Oklahoma was just that much of a team. To me, it didn't look like the team was because Oklahoma has talent, and there's no disrespect, but coaching wise, I'm not sure how good that team is yet. I think they still have a lot to prove. No disrespect to none of them, but I think just like all of us have something to prove, I think Oklahoma has a lot to prove, and to really just put them at number 10 in the country, I mean, I think it's crazy. And here's the other point that I wanted to make. I think you got to factor in too, out of all these teams, because Oklahoma lost against a lot of teams, a few teams last year. But out of all these teams, think about this: number 14, Texas A&M, USC did beat them. Number 5, who's on this list, USC did beat them, which is LSU. Number 6, Notre Dame, USC went back and forth with them. We lost, yes, but we went back and forth. Number 3, USC went back and forth with them. In fact, we went overtime with Penn State. I could argue that out of all these teams on this list, USC I think, who was it? I can't remember if it was one of those analysts that said USC is probably one of the best 6-loss team in the country. And his point was, and it's you don't get no moral points for that. But his point was that USC took every team that they played pretty much to the brink. And so I look at it as more of a self-inflicted wounds opposed to us just outright losing the game. We know that we could have ran the ball more, established the run more. We could have easily won a lot of games. Now, you factor the fact that now we got defensive front now, Keyshawn Silver, John Jarrett, and then you look at our whole defensive line, these guys that are second-year developed, I think they need to factor those things in. I don't really think a lot of people studied USC's roster. And then you look at some of the other guys, arguably one of the best running back rooms in the country. We know one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country. I just don't think, even safeties, you look at the safeties we have. I mean, USC is pretty much stacked. We just got another cornerback, Chase Johnson, of course, DJ Harvey, and then, of course, our young guys that are around us. I think USC got some talent that a lot of people are not factoring in, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. I think USC can shock a lot of people, and based on this top 25, this top 20, I'm not feeling it. I don't think a lot of research was done on it to really understand. But it is what it is. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm talking about it anyway because I want to talk about it because I feel like it's just not a list that's really taking time to really think about. So look, man, you guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think, man. That's all I got for you today. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Happy Wednesday to everybody. I'm out of here, man. Fight on, fight on, fight on.